Today I'm going to be making this cake by Three Sisters Farm. It is the Devilishly Easy Vampire Poke Cake Kit. This was $7.99 at World Market. It is out for Halloween. So you have the whole vampire theme going on. You have the witches' hats and the bats on the side. So this, and you see that we have like a witch's hand grabbing a piece of this cake. So I think that's pretty cool. So there's three different sections. You're gonna make the cake, but then you're gonna make blood, and then you're gonna make frosting. So for the cake, you need 8 tablespoons of butter melted, which is 1 stick. You need 2 eggs, and you need a 1/2 cup of milk. Then when we get to the blood part, we're gonna need a tablespoon of butter and 1.5 tablespoons of water. Then when we get to the frosting, which I'll tell you all this again once we get there, but when we get to the frosting, you're gonna need 3 tablespoons of butter and 1 to 2 teaspoons of milk. So for right now, I've got it measured out in my milk, but I'll put it in the refrigerator until we need it. So you need to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and then you want to use, it says spray pan with baking spray and parchment paper. I just use parchment paper. The only reason you would use spray underneath this is to keep it in place, and I use these clips until I get the cake mix in there, so it's not going to slide around. It says an 8-inch baking pan, so this is my 8-inch baking pan. So I'm going to open this up and see what we get. Didn't need the scissors. Okay, so we have, this looks like powdered sugar. Yeah, it says frosting. So that's going to be at the end. We don't need that. This is definitely for the blood. You can tell because it's a pink, yeah, blood red vampire. So that looks like pink sugar, honestly. And then this is the last thing in here. And this says pouch cake mix. So we are going to add the cake mix to the mixing bowl with the melted butter, eggs, and milk, and mix until well blended. And then we are going to add this to our prepared cake pan. I'm going to spread this out in the bottom, and I'm going to remove my clips from the side. And you want to bake this for 28 to 30 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer for 28 minutes, but then when it comes out, I'll let you know the total time that it was in for. So this is how our cake looks after it cooked. My cake baked for, it was supposed to be 28 to 30 minutes. So I checked it at 28, it wasn't ready. I checked it at 30, it wasn't ready. I went to 32 minutes, but I tell you why. Because my 8-inch baking pan is a glass pan. If you use a metal pan, yours probably won't take that long. But for a glass pan, it took 32 minutes. So you want to take it out, let it cool off for a little bit, which we have. And I have a plate with a flat surface to put it on. So there we go. So that is how that looks. So now we are going to set that to the side, but we have it ready. We're going to make the blood. So we have our sugar, our blood packet, and we have our 1 tablespoon of butter, and then we have this is the 1.5 tablespoons of water. So it says, using a microwave safe bowl with at least a 4-inch lip, add the pouch of blood syrup with water and butter. And I've had this laying out since the beginning, so it is very soft. So I'm gonna try not to touch it. There we go. Okay, it says microwave on high speed for 1 minute, stir with a spoon, and microwave for an additional 30 seconds and set aside. This is how the blood looks. It says using the end of a wooden spoon, poke holes halfway through the cake every 1 to 2 inches. I do not have a wooden spoon with a round hole. All of our wooden spoons have flat ends. So I'm using a straw, but then I have one of those brushes to clean it with, so I'll be able to get the cake out that collects in here. So this is a poke cake, and you don't want to go all the way to the bottom. Just want to go like halfway through the cake. What? No cake collected in there.
Oh, that's good.
Huh, that's cool. Okay, now.
It had like a little crunchy sound on top too.
It did, yeah. So you want to take a spoon, and then you want to put some of your blood in each hole. We have some left, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to pour more into these holes. But what they don't tell you in the directions is that if you want your cake to look like this on the box, which I do, and I would think anyone would who's buying this, you want to reserve some of this blood for the top. And they're not telling you to do that. They're telling you basically we're going to put this in the freezer while we're making our frosting, and then they're saying after you make the frosting, frost the cake and you're done. Well, no, we want to have some of this on the top so that it, looks like a vampire. So I'm definitely going to leave some. What do you think, Kevin? You think I've got enough, or think...
Do you not want to spread some all over the top as a layer? Or
it doesn't say to do that. No, I'll read you exactly. It says play a spoon syrup over and into the holes. Spoon syrup over and into the holes. Place the cake in the freezer while you make the frosting. So do you think, I can do it a little bit. I don't want it to get, I can.
I don't think you want it thick, but you do want it kind of all red.
You think I don't think it'll matter under the frosting. You're not going to be able to see it anyway.
Yeah.
But I can do that. But I just want to make sure I have enough. So
I think you will, though.
Yeah, I think so too. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to leave it just like this. And I'm going to put it in the freezer, and then we're going to immediately start our frosting. So we're going to make our frosting now. We want to cream the butter first. And this butter, it's not going to take long because it's been laying out since the beginning. So we're going to cream the butter, and then we're going to add our milk. 1 to 2 teaspoons of milk, and we're going to add this whole pouch. It looks like powdered sugar. I'm going to put just a little bit of the milk at first, and then I'll add the rest if I need to. All my milk, my 2 teaspoons, and that just wasn't enough, so I got some more milk out, and I'm going to add a little bit more because if you see, this is really thick and it's going to be hard to spread. And if you look at their picture, you can see the cake through it, so it's supposed to be a little thinner. So I'm going to add a little bit more milk to it, but just a little. Bowl, I stuck my spatula handle underneath this to kind of prop it up because this gets really like sticky. It's like a sugar, and so I want to be able to get it out of there. So I made sure I kind of propped it up to have all that blood at one end. And so for this still looks thicker than what they showed on the box, but I'm afraid to make it too runny. So I'm just gonna put it on here. looks like they just drizzled it. Yeah. I don't know how that's going to turn out,
though. You want to microwave it a little bit longer?
I don't know. Do you think it'll get sugar?
Might get thicker.
I know. I'm afraid it'll get thicker. But like I said, this is the part where they didn't even tell you to leave any extra. But I think it's kind of deceptive to put that on the box and then to not tell you that you're supposed to leave any. So it's just going to be, I don't know if I'm going to be able to drizzle it. I think we went from the vampire to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Dexter. Yeah, we never have made our way back to that show. We tried to watch. We tried to watch the first episode of Dexter, and it was a lot. It was a whole lot, and the kids love it. Andrew and Ashley love Dexter. They watched all the episodes.
Not the grandkids. The adult kids.
The adult kids. No, not the grandchildren. Thank you for clarifying that. No, not the grandchildren. But yeah, that's one we haven't made our way back to yet. All right. Well, that's how ours looks. You're supposed to get 16 pieces of cake. It says it's a yellow cake mix, white frosting mix, and blood red syrup mix. It is made, this is, the company's called Three Sisters Farm, but it's Sunflower Food Company. It's www.sunflowerfoodcompany.com. There is not a state, like what state does this come out of? We don't know because there is nothing on here about, I like to know where things come from, like this was made in North Dakota. You know, we have no idea. It just says deliciously easy family favorites from our farmhouse to your kitchen from the Miller family. And if you go in a World Market, they sell a lot of these mixes. So this one's just the one out for Halloween. They
had a couple fall mixes, they like have pumpkin bread or
yes,
something,
they have
pumpkin
some
cake or
for
something.
The fall, but it would be nice to know where they're from.
Yeah.
It says this piece of cake, I told Kevin, it's the size of a pedophore. It's 140 calories, which isn't bad.
No. Like a little Debbie. Their syrup didn't quite turn into syrup, so it's sugary still. I like that frosting though, it's really sweet.
I do too. I like the sugary.
I do too.
It's like a really, really gritty sugar. Mm-hmm. So it didn't get hard, like a piece of hard candy or something. It's just very, very sweet.
Mm-hmm. I like it when the sugars went into those little holes too.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what the cake actually tastes like by itself.
You know, I'm crazy about the texture of this whole thing. Mm. It's so nice because
the cake is very dense.
The cake is dense, and I was so worried about using that glass pan, but the glass pan worked. It
did take a few minutes longer.
It just needed 2 extra minutes, and it was perfect.
We were afraid to. We have 9x9 pans. Pam was afraid that if you use the 9x9, that's a solid inch on both sides.
It's going to be thinner.
It's going to be much thinner, and it wouldn't poke as well. You wouldn't get the nice look.
Yeah, the whole point is for it to look, you know, have that thicker look about it. I think this is so good.
It is. The cake is a little tight. It's a little like dense and a little close. It's not bad. It's just it's a close texture.
Yes, but by them saying, yes, it's almost, this is going to sound wrong, but I mean, this is what it reminds me of. It's almost closer to a cornmeal texture. Like a Jiffy corn muffin mix. Mm-hmm. It almost is a Jiffy corn muffin texture more than a yellow cake. Mm-hmm. So by them saying yellow cake, if you think of Betty Crocker, Duncan Hines, this is not that. Mm-hmm. Those are light and fluffy and airy. They're very airy and they're delicious, but they're different. This is like a corn muffin, the texture.
Not corny, like gritty, like corn. Well, with the sugar, it's kind of gritty.
It is, yes. And it has a really, I think, when I say it has a sugar grip, that is a compliment. I think that for me is a positive thing. I love the texture, the flavor, but overall, it just tastes like you didn't get, like I wondered, is the blood going to be like strawberry or cherry? Or it's not.
Just sugar.
It's just sugar. So it's just overall a really sweet cake. And it would go great with tea, coffee, a cup of milk, whatever.
It just looks cool.
Yeah, it's just a cool looking cake. But for now on, when I see these mixes, I don't know that I've ever made one of these. I've seen them and I've taken a lot of pictures and put them on Instagram. But I don't think I've ever actually bought one to make myself.
And what was it, $7.99?
Yeah, because
go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm more about if I can get something already prepared and not have to go through the trouble, I would rather do that than do the mix. So I'm not really a mix person, but I will be more likely to get one now that I've had this and it's so good.
And I don't think the price is really high, because some things at World Market you would expect for like this, you would expect to pay $12 or $13 for. That same mix, if they had it at what's that, Williams Sonoma.
Oh my gosh.
They can have that same mix at Williams Sonoma and put $14 or $15 or more.
Oh yeah, easily.
They can literally have that exact mix. That looks like something they could have.
It does look like a Williams Sonoma because it's fancy looking.
Yeah. So so it's good. I like it. Just if you don't like a denser cake, you may not like it, but I think it's good, and it has overall it's just sweet. It's not really strong vanilla. It's not anything like that. It's just sweet.
No, it's just a really nice sweet cake with a great texture. So if you get it, you'll have to let us know, or if you've tried other mixes, because like they have fall mixes out now. And then I'm sure they'll have ones for Christmas, for the winter time too. Because it seems like I've taken pictures of those before, but I've never tried any of them. But I really like this, and it was enough. It made enough frosting and everything. So I didn't have an issue with any of it. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.